Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new edition of the Hockey Happy Hour right here on A2DRadio.com. I am Matt Sassuti. This is Brian, the Darkwing Daily. And unfortunately, the Penguin lover had some duties to attend to, so Klinkov is not here on this evening. However, though, joining us for the festivities once again behind the board is none other than Mr. Ryan Brodo.
Hello.
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 And how are you doing on this?
I'm swell.
No, very, very much so. Lazy booking just ended, so
Yes.
you know.
We talked a little bit.
Yeah,
earlier.
we talked a little
Chatted.
bit. Yeah, just a little bit. Had a little bit of family talk right
bit.
there.
Just a
as
little.
we always
Little
do.
chatty Cathy's over here.
Yeah, absolutely. And Hockey Happy Hour is brought to you by Skinzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.skinzanosports.com. And we are going to talk about the Flyers goaltending situation, a reoccurring theme almost every year as the Philadelphia Flyers turn. Never have we seen a permanent solution to the goaltending problem since the day Ron Hextall decided to hang it up and say good day to everyone in Philadelphia.
Yeah, that seems to be just as common as summer. You know, every year we have a summer. Every year we have a goalie talk
Yeah, pretty
for
much.
Flyers. So
It's every single year. It's like, hey, guess what? It's a new year, and you know what? It's a new Flyers fucking goalie. Let's see what bullshit we got this year in store for the Philadelphia fans.
2002, oh, we need a goalie. 2003, we need a goalie. 2004, we need a goalie. This happens every year.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
I'm pretty sure that wasn't that accurate, but you get the point.
For the most part.
You get the point.
Yeah. Maybe, actually, no, it was more like every 2 years we needed a goalie. Because the goalie we would think would lead us into the promised land. Turns out he was only good for that run, and then he was shit the next year. That's usually how this works.
You got to run out of them.
Yeah, this is true. So, to commemorate this, I think I will bring up a list of the Flyers goalies in the last since Ron Hextall's retired. We're going to be here for a minute, folks.
Oh, my God. This might take up our whole first hour.
Well, it may. It may. Hold off, though. Hold off. The Twitter poll question is, speaking of goalies, who is the most deserving to be the Flyers goaltender? And the choices are Carter Hart, Brian Elliott, and Alex Lyon. Now, before anyone says this is a slam dunk answer, yes, we all know Carter Hart does deserve it. But here's the thing. Does he? And I say that because, yes, he's done a lot in his junior level, but we haven't seen him in the pros yet. So that's what I would say. Hold off there for just a quick second there.
You totally just stole my thought was, well, does he deserve it yet? We don't know. We don't know. We haven't seen him in anything past the junior level. So I would take him off the list, and I would put Stolarz back on that list.
But
Does
that's the thing.
Stolarz deserve it?
But that's the other thing. The only reason why I put Carter Hart there is I wanted to do a little test for the fans out there. See,
did I spoil it?
See, I'm a psychologist at heart, and I am very intrigued to see where the fans are thinking because I want to know how many Flyers fans are going to immediately jump on the Carter Hart bandwagon and say, oh, it's Carter Hart. I mean, come on, guys. This is an easy answer.
We have one already.
Yeah, it's like, know your stuff, guys. Like, seriously, we all know that it's Carter Hart who's the most deserving. I'm like, are you sure? Are you 100% sure of that? I want to think. I want you to think for just a quick second. Between Brian Elliott, Alex Lyon, and other, which could be Anthony Stolarz, or it could be Michael Neuwirth. I highly doubt he's the answer, but still.
He's the answer if you want to find a replacement.
Or if you need a replacement.
Not even if you need one, because with him, he only lasts 5 minutes.
That, and he'll also
And then you need to replace him.
Not
and
only
then he's out 6 weeks, comes back, and he lasts another 5 minutes.
Not only will you need a replacement, he'll probably need a knee replacement by the time that shit fucking comes to a head.
Probably needs it now.
Probably does.
Probably needs it now.
Probably does. You know what? He probably was playing in his Bush League softball game, and I guarantee you that motherfucker probably tore his fucking quadricep probably playing that fucking game.
Thought I tore something earlier.
I don't even know if he can play softball. Do they play softball in the fucking Czech Republic? I don't think they fucking
I don't know.
Do they play anything besides fucking hockey over there? I think
sure
they play
they-
soccer, but that's
Basketball, soccer.
They play basketball over there? Do they even know what a basketball is?
Basketball is very global.
Well, no, I know that, but in the Czech Republic,
Yeah.
like, come on now, let's think about this here. Basketball, really?
Yeah, why not?
It's not like Spain, or like France where they take that shit seriously.
I mean, I'm not necessarily sure they take it seriously, but I'm sure they have other sports. They probably have sports over there we've never even heard of.
What, like dead man on a pole?
It's
Where
possible.
we gotta throw the corpse through the hoops, and therefore you get you get like 20 points. What? How do I know? Hey, it used to be ran by the Soviet Union. So you know what? How should I know? How should I know what they practice over there?
No one's saying you should know. You've never been there, have you?
This is true. I haven't been. Although,
Broda's pondering something over there.
I mean, maybe there's. Yager has his favorite pastime over there. It's called bang the young chick. Like seriously.
No, that's his favorite cardio.
Well, that is his favorite cardio, but that's also
Why do you
another
think
Czech
he?
Republic
Why do you?
pastime.
Why do you think his agility's been so good?
This is a good point.
I feel younger now than ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're banging girls 30 years younger than you.
That he could be the dad of. So that says a lot about that chick's mentality.
I envy
she
that,
must
man.
have the worst dad issues on the face of the planet. However, though, you don't need dad issues to sleep with Yager. I think most women would just say, yeah, I don't have dad issues, but it's fucking Yager. That fucking mullet's all I need to say. That's
Right,
it.
most girls in the Czech has.
We're just getting broed over.
It's Yager.
Like, fuck this.
That's all you need to know. It's Jaromir Yager. That's all you need to know.
All right. So, got any comments yet on that poll?
We got quite a few. We got a few over here. David Raska, how you doing, my friend?
What's up, Ross?
James Wather, what's going on, boys? James, how you feeling, brother?
What's up, man?
Frank Vespi, one of the guys answering our poll question. 3 words, Carter bleeping Hart. Also, it's 10 p.m. and Joe Thornton still sucks. David Raska, let's go Ducks. All about Anaheim, as it should be. James Wather comes in. Lion probably ahead of Hart, which is realistic. But his next comment's very realistic, too. It's Carter Hart's spot to lose, which I agree with wholeheartedly.
Actually, it is his spot to lose, even going into this training camp. Now, I'm not saying that he wouldn't get another chance, but everyone's already penciling him in. So, really, going into training camp, he even says that he wants to make the team.
Right.
So, it's like, all right, dude, you want to make the team? Put up or shut up. Let's see what you got. Do you have what it takes to be the Flyers starter this year? Here's the thing, though. You're still not going to be the starter because, unfortunately, we still have Brian Elliott for one more year. That's the sad part of it.
True. James also goes on to say, I'd honestly feed Lion to the – I'm assuming he meant the Wolves until the defense is better, then bring in Hart later.
Oh, come on, man. There was such a better word for that. You could have fed Lion to the Lions. Come on, man. Do I have to think a very bad joke on this goddamn show? Damn, man. Oh, well, though. Love the comment. Keep them rolling.
Maybe that's what he meant. You know what? Now that I'm looking at it, it looks better. It looks like
good. There we
feed
go.
Lion to
Yes.
the Lions.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Sanity prevailed. Thank you.
Sorry,
Great
James.
comment,
you made like 3
sir.
words
Thank
into one,
you.
bro.
Thank you. All right.
I got to assume sometimes.
Oh, well, assume, and this is what happens.
Yeah, you make an ass out of yourself.
Mm-hmm. All right, now on to the YouTube before we go back to Facebook. King James TV saying, what's up, guys? What's up, man?
King James, what's up, brother?
Sean Taylor chiming in, and what he has to say is, I won't be here long. I just need to say this. And then he goes on to say, Washington has a more recent championship than Philly. And he says, goodbye, #Capitals. Who the fuck cares? How about that? Like, seriously, who the fuck gives a shit that the Capitals have won a cup? It took you how many fucking years to do it? Wow. Amazing. I'm so happy for you. By the way, the Flyers have 2. Catch up. Anyway.
He doesn't realize I'm here. He's usually he trolls on Wednesdays.
I see.
Hello, Sean Taylor. I have a feeling he's going to stay now that he heard my voice.
Good, good. So we have more fun today.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine. Everyone's got to win one eventually.
That's
right?
true. Blind squirrel does find a nut eventually, and if there was a definition of a blind squirrel, it was the Washington Capitals. The only one that
you're
was
talking
worse
about
was in Arizona.
that's a team here like that honestly played with 0 pressure this year in the playoffs as opposed to years before. And they didn't have to worry about the President's Trophy, didn't have to worry about all that other shit.
Yeah.
They played their game this year.
That's the funny part of it is, too, they were almost a franchise that stumbled in to a superstar and fucked it up. That's the funny part, how Pittsburgh stumbled into Sidney Crosby, but they didn't fuck it up. That's the funny part of Washington. They almost fucked it up. They were that close to doing it. Could you imagine that if Washington had not won a cup with Alexander Ovechkin? You stumble into a game-changing superstar for your team. You cannot put a team around him, and you never win a Stanley Cup with him. Or when you do put a team around him, and you still don't win a Stanley Cup. It's like, I don't know what's worse of a sin. If you put a team around a superstar and you don't win, or you don't put a team around a superstar and you don't win.
I don't know. I think they're both equally as bad. But what was good about what Washington did this year was they put the team around them.
They did.
They got T.J. Oshie back on a 7-year, 7-year contract, something like that.
I was stunned that he signed for that long, to be completely honest with you, when I heard that.
I mean, you keep his buddy right next to him, and Nicholas Backstrom. You bring in a bunch of role players that honestly played really well throughout the entire playoffs. They gave the top two lines the support they needed, and the defense played well in front of Holtby once they brought him in. So, I mean, if you want to talk about, and my friend has said this before, and she laughed at us when I went to Warped Tour with her on Friday. And she was right. It was destined to be their year.
Yeah, I mean, the pressure was off. You're right. And here's the thing, though. They almost fucked it up even then because they had to lose 2 straight games to Columbus, and that woke them up and realized, oh, shit, maybe we actually need to play like the Washington Capitals and not play like a shit team and deny Columbus their first series win like a good NHL team should, because no dignified NHL team will ever give Columbus a series victory. I don't blame them.
I mean, which they are, and that's definitely what they're doing. But, like I said, that President's Trophy, it's a curse. It's a curse more than it is anything. And you saw Nashville. Nashville, the reigning Western Conference champions, went down in the second round.
Yeah.
Because of the President's Trophy.
They did, man. That President's Trophy is a nightmare. There's only one team that's really made it work, and I think that was Detroit. That's it. That's the only team.
An interesting comment here.
Sure.
From Alex Adoni. Don't rush Hart. Look at Quick. Started in Reading ECHL.
Mm-hmm.
Hextall didn't rush him and worked out in the long run.
It did.
Should do the same with Hart.
And
that's something I've been saying over the last couple months when people have been sitting there, we need Carter Hart now. We need Carter Hart now. The kid's 19, 20 years old.
All you
Give
have
him
to
time.
do, all you have to do is look at LA, because 2 Stanley Cups, don't fucking lie. And those 2 cups, because of Quick.
Right. And then we got David Raska chiming in. Vegas Golden Knights did not sign Neal and Perron. Neal wound up signing 2 weeks ago now, a 5-year contract with Calgary. Where did Perron go?
David Perron? Let's find out, shall we?
I don't know off the top of my head. I don't remember if he got signed. Maybe he went back to St. Louis again? I feel like that sounds about right.
Let us discover where the hell David Perron decided to employ his services to.
He's a solid role player. I never hated him in Anaheim. He had a good 15 goals with us.
That is true. Let me see here if there's anything about his contract signing coming up here. While I do that, feel free to dive into whatever's been on your mind as of late when it comes to hockey world.
I just wish Anaheim would do something. I'm hearing their names include, yeah, you sit over there, you're laughing. Fucking Luke Shen, yeah.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you because there's another team in Philly that I wish would do the same thing. There's actually 2. I understand your pain.
It's all right
I
if you're
understand your
laughing at him.
pain.
So does that make it 3 for me then?
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, Anaheim's in on Max Pacioretty, from what I'm hearing.
Okay, found it. He signed back with St. Louis, 4 years.
4 years.
4 years, $4 million.
Wow. Got him on the cheap.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, go check the date.
Wait, is it for a year or for?
It's $4 million over the next 4 seasons.
Wow, they really got him on the cheap.
He said, despite showing interest in returning after the Vegas Golden Knights, David Perron realized that they weren't going to be able to come to terms on a deal that would keep the forward in Vegas. So I want to know if that's how they got him in St. Louis. What the fuck was Vegas offering? Like, seriously.
Oh, man.
Vegas must have been lowballing the fuck out of him. Like, seriously.
I mean, he's a good bottom 6 player. He's a solid bottom 6 player.
But they must have been lowballing him for him to immediately go to St. Louis on a 4-year deal for $4 million. They must have said, like, fuck that. You're only getting 2 years. Like,
maybe it's a term thing and it wasn't a money thing.
Maybe. I was like, damn, man.
What you got over there, Brodo?
Over here on YouTube, a bit of everything says, hey, guys, what do you think the next Flyers move will be?
Well, by the way, thank you for commenting. Haven't heard you before. So, with that being said, I think their next move, honestly, because they made their splash with James Van Riemsdyk, I think they're going to make more subtle moves now. If they're going to make any other splash, it's going to be a trade. And it would have to be a trade that would involve Wayne Simmons. That's it. I don't think they're planning on doing anything else too crazy right now. At least unless they have a pure defense veteran in mind, because that's where I think that they got to lean to now. They found secondary scoring with James Van Riemsdyk. They're getting that problem nailed down. Plus, you still have guys like Morgan Frost, who's most likely going to be NHL ready, and you will still also have Mike Vecchione and the rest of them that are younger forwards that can come up to add a little bit more depth.
Actually, I think the Flyers might be done going into training camp.
That's what I mean by subtle.
Yeah, I mean, you might get like a minor league move here and there, or maybe they re-sign somebody who's in arbitration, but I don't think it's going to be anything major. I don't think they're going to be making any trades until after they see what they have to put on the ice. And obviously you have a general idea of what they have. But like some of the names you brought up, Mike Vecchione, Morgan Frost, Philip Myers, if he makes a defensive core,
Pascal Laberge.
You don't know what these guys are going to have yet.
Well, not only that, too, guys like Taylor Lair got re-signed as well to one-year deals.
Yeah, so I mean, you have so many spots, and you have so much cap space. So I mean, I think Hextall's done just to leave a little bit of flexibility in the salary cap.
Yeah, I think so too. But I do like the idea that what I like about this is that they're not doing anything too crazy, because that's the one thing that the Flyers fans were used to, was the big crazy move. Now, I will say the Van Riemsdyk thing was a shocker, like a fucking surprise. But him coming back isn't a bad thing, because he does produce. So it's like, okay. I mean, I'm just surprised he decided to come back. I'm not against the decision.
Right.
I would have preferred them to go and get a more veteran defensive presence, but you know what? I am perfectly fine with them deciding to take care of their secondary scoring instead. It did need to be addressed, because that was a problem we had.
And it's like I said last week. Now you got 30 goal scorers on each line. You have Couturier on line 1. You're going to have JVR probably on line 2 and Simmons on line 3.
Which is perfectly fine.
So there you go. There's probably about 90 goals between the three of them.
Yeah, and on top of that, too, you still have Claude Giroux and Jake Voracek, and at the same time, you still have Travis Konechny, and who knows where they're going to be come the next season. And on top of that, too, if you do bring up a Mike Vecchione and Morgan Frost, who knows what they can apply to it, and Nolan Patrick on top of it. So this team's going to have some offensive punch to them, as long as the vets work well with the rooks and the rooks continue to progress and get better with their game. This team could be an offensive nightmare going into this season if everything's clicking well.
No, it absolutely could be. I like where they are as far as their prospects go, and who they have planned on each line. The second line, I think, is going to be scary. I think that's going to be the scariest line that the Flyers have, because ideally you want it to be JVR, you want it to be Nolan Patrick, and you want it to be Jake Voracek.
Absolutely.
You got a passer in Jake Voracek who can shoot, who will get you 15 to 20 goals a year. You have Nolan Patrick, who hopefully is taking the next step forward in his development, and I think having JVR on the left side could really help that out. But he's another kid that he has really good vision, can pass the puck really well. JVR he's your 30-goal guy. It doesn't matter how many fucking assists he gets, as long as he puts up that 30.
Well, as long as the team is winning games, and as long as they're staying competitive in the standings, and yes, he's getting his points and production that he needs to get. The important thing is, as long as you are competitive in the worst fucking division you could possibly be in the NHL, then you're doing fine. That's the main goal, is to stay competitive in the single toughest division that the NHL has. And I don't think anybody can argue that this is the toughest division. The Metropolitan is the toughest division.
You can make an argument for the Central, but the Central's taking a step back. But
not really. Ever since the Blackhawks kind of faded away, the Blues were kind of shaky. It's kind of like the Titans that were there are starting to really the cracks are starting to show.
Like I said, he's taking a step back.
Yeah.
But I agree. The Metro, every team in the Metro, aside from the Islanders now losing Tavares, that hurts. That hurts that team, and they're going to take a step. They're going to fall a couple steps losing him because that's your 80, 90, 100-point guy. And then you don't have that anymore. Who are you going to replace Tavares with?
He's a superstar, so you
can't replace him. You can't replace him.
No. Plus, he was your captain on top of it. So that's like, oh, shit, now you got to make a captain, too. And that's another factor we forgot to tie in. They're going to lose their captain on top of it.
Yeah, and he lost him to Toronto. And it makes sense why Tavares went to Toronto. He's got family there. He's from there. He's born there.
Don't be surprised if the Islanders blow it up. If they just say, fuck it, we're going to trade anybody else that's good on this team, and we're just going to have to rebuild from scratch because they have to at this point because they lost Tavares. I know there's talent on that team, but it's not enough talent for them to be competitive in the Metro. I think they may just say, fuck it, let's suck for the next few years, but let's get some really good prospects, and let's really build this team to make them that dangerous because then they can do we're younger, they're older, we're hungrier, they're not. They had their time in the spotlight, and they're going to be dangerous then because then we're going to be older. And the Penguins, who knows if they're still going to be the team that they need to be.
Yeah.
And at top of it, Washington probably won't be the team they need to be. The Rangers may be good by that time, and they may be competitive with them, but that's it. The Devils and the Flyers, they will be older by that time. So it's like they could be dangerous if they decide to blow it up and they say, fuck it, we're not going to be competitive right now.
It depends on how fast they want to build it back up after they do blow it up. I mean, Lou Lamoriello, he's one of the best GMs that I've seen in my lifetime. He knows how to build a team. He did it with the Devils, made the Devils a dynasty in his time there.
All he needed to do was sign Brodeur, and that was it.
And he was only in Toronto, a couple years? And look at what he did to that team. And that team was at the bottom of the barrel as well.
They were. And then after that, they were making the fucking playoffs.
And on top of it, now they got new head coach Barry Trotz. So, I mean, it's not – they have the management in place. They just need to start bringing in some of the talent.
That's the thing, though. I think that's the thing, though. I don't think the talent's enough. Whereas in Toronto, the talent was immediately there with an
Right
Austin
now,
Matthews.
with the Islanders? No, I agree. It's not there.
Even with the Devils, it took him a minute before it all gelled because he wanted to get players from the Soviet Union. They weren't coming over at that time when they were still wearing red and green. But when he signed Brodeur, that team immediately became an actual player because they got to the Eastern Conference Finals when they literally first time in the playoffs went. It wasn't even the Eastern Conference. It was the Wales Finals, and if it wasn't for the Penguins, they would have wound up in the Stanley Cup Finals their first try. It's like, holy shit, they could have pulled the Vegas Golden Knights before the Vegas Golden Knights even fucking existed.
Well, I mean, the St. Louis Blues did that.
They did.
So, I mean.
Well, yeah, but that was a little different at that time, though.
Fair enough. Totally different game.
A little different.
But point being, you know, the Islanders aren't in terrible shape. They do have some young talent there. They need to cut ties with guys like Andrew Ladd. And really, like, if they're going to blow it up, just do it. Just cut ties, like trade Andrew Ladd, get all the older guys.
I don't think he ever really in New York, and I think the reason why is because he got his game elevated by that defensive unit out there in Chicago. You know, when you're working with guys like John Emerson, Patrick Sharp, and the rest, and Duncan.
On is JT, so I mean,
yeah, there you go.
The fact that his offensive production wasn't what it was, you know, goes to show you that maybe he's lost a step.
Forward, I forgot. I don't know why I keep thinking he's a defense. But anyway.
Maybe you're thinking of somebody else.
I think I'm thinking of somebody else. My bad on that one. But still.
All good.
Working with guys like them, though, why the fuck else? Either way, elevation. You got guys on that team that make plays and make shit happen. It's what they are. Now, long run, it will pay benefits. And I think that it'll definitely help the young guys get a little bit more acclimated. JVR.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think he's in Toronto. He learned to be a little bit more of a leader than he was when he was first here.
He had to be in that because that team had nothing.
Well, right, he was
absolutely. And I mean, JVR produced a lot, very well for them. I mean, with Phil Kessel, they managed to get to the Stanley Cup final. I mean, the Stanley Cup. Toronto's got to avoid them at all costs if they want to be successful.
Jumping back to Islanders real quick,
Sure.
just an interesting tidbit. Adrian Barrett chimed.
They're doing this I think Lou should probably just say, you know what, our bid to try and kind of retool the team isn't there now that Tavares is gone. Yeah, fuck it. Let's just get rid of the guys. Let's see what young talent we have. Let's just build through the draft. I'm going to have to do what I did in Jersey. Like, that's literally what he's going to have to do if this team wants to be a legitimate dominant force in the coming.
It also all depends on
years.
how long do they want it to run. Like,
yeah.
Building through the draft is never a bad thing, even if you're not in a rebuilding stage. Get the best get the best that you can get. Like, that's available at that point.
Well, yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like, first 2 rounds, yeah. Get the best that's there. 3rd, 4th, 5th through the 7th, just fill needs.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. And I think that's to the credit of the Flyers. That's what they've been doing over the last few years with Ron Hextall. Getting the best defensive men that they were for a while, get the best defensive men available. Forwards they were drafting a little bit later on. But nowadays they're getting a little bit more forward presence in the first round, which is perfectly fine because you can never have enough offense or defense. Sometimes the best defense is a good offense. But you see how he does that where it's like, we'll go for the best we feel available. He does kind of play a little Moneyball style where he will take a gamble a time or two on someone like he did this year. He took a gamble on a kid who's in high school, and he wants him to go to college, pretty much.
First-round picks that the Flyers took this year. Both first-round picks that the Flyers took this year have already committed to play. It paid off for JVR.
Yeah,
he played at UNH for, 2 years?
Maturation is something that college hockey teaches that you don't have. Plus, if Dave Haxtell's still the coach, that's great because Hack coached college on top of it. I'm just saying if that's the case. Either way, though, you take kids out of college who are more mature. They're more ready for that NHL level. You're not ready for it when you come out of the juniors. Some guys are, but very rarely. Look at Taylor Hall. How long did it take him before he finally started showing? And it took him a trade to New Jersey before he finally found his game.
Yeah.
And that just shows you everything you need to know right there.
Well, I've been saying this for probably since I started on this show.
Probably.
Players don't fit into every scheme, every coach's system. Some systems don't work out as well. Some do. Taylor Hall didn't fit in the Edmonton system. They had to move him. Plus, they had other contracts and situations and stuff like that. So they sent him over to the Devils, and the system in New Jersey's working for him. He's back to being that guy that they expected him to be when they drafted him.
Yep.
So, it pays off. You got to take a risk sometimes. Yeah, okay, he's 15, 20 goal scorer right now. We can turn him back into a 40. And they did. They did. Like, I'm just happy he's not in the West anymore.
Yeah, I'm sure you are.
And I got to address something real quick. David, why on earth do you want Joel Ward?
Joel Ward?
He's like 36, 37 years old. He's not really that good. And didn't he retire? I thought I saw that. I thought he just retired this past year. Because his contract's up with Washington.
Well, yeah, and he also won a cup, so I wouldn't imagine he would.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, not Washington. He's not Washington anymore, is he? Where is he? San Jose. He's in San Jose. He's not Washington. His contract's up with Washington.
Oh, that's right. He was.
Or San Jose, yeah.
Yeah, my bad. He was with San Jose. What am I talking about?
I don't see anything regarding retire. The first thing that comes up was that he was benched for the postseason, so that looks good on the resume.
Oh, yeah, that looks great. That looks great. Not to mention that he's not a scorer.
The two first stories after I searched Joe Ward is benched for the postseason and out indefinitely with an upper body injury. So,
yeah,
resume.
Yeah, so, Dave, we might need to figure something else out there, brother.
Apparently, Washington Post also did an article that he wouldn't kneel during the national anthem because I guess they brought it up to him because.
Oh God! Of course they did.
Because he was black, so it's just like that was so. That's just
that's a whole other topic. I'm not touching.
So tasteful, Washington. Thank you so much. Anyway.
But yeah, so we'll move on to the next one. Come on, you want guys like Joel Ward, Dave? Let's go out and get a guy like Max Pacioretty.
That's a much.
That's what I'm talking about. That's a right winger we need.
Infinitely better choice. Yes, well, I would say.
Here's a question for both of you guys, because obviously I know allegiances to different teams here. what's your confidence level in your organizations at the moment when it comes to making moves at the current moment? Because I feel like it could vary between these two.
After what I've seen this past offseason,
And that is in your own team or the Flyers?
my own team.
Okay.
In Anaheim. Come on, they signed Luke Shen.
I just asked the questions.
Luke Shen. Hey,
Hey,
that's fine. I'm not.
Don't dog your team too bad, though. You didn't sign Zach Ronaldo.
True.
Nashville gets to get that dubious task. Again, were you just...
It's an AHL contract
I still
still,
want to know that. I still
whatever.
want to know that. Were you just rummaging through the trash and you just like, you know what?
They probably just need to fill an AHL spot. You know what? They just.
literally,
all right.
They
Call Zach.
literally, like, they just, what? You visited, what? What was the last he was on? Boston? What? You went to visit the fucking garbage cans of Boston? Boston is garbage cans. But still, you go.
Hey, that's a very nice city. I've been there a couple times.
Yeah.
I'll defend the city.
Which
The
city?
sport teams, not so much.
All right, so it's a garbage. Anyway,
Boston.
Oh, yeah.
so
Beautiful
don't you-
city.
Great city, just bad sports.
Bad sports.
Whatever.
Terrible people.
Anyway, terrible people. Okay, cool.
Oh,
We'll
sports.
go with that way.
Hey, listen, I had a great time up there with the people. I'm just saying.
Oh, okay.
But
Anyway.
other than that, the sports teams, I agree. Garbage.
Agreed.
Oh, come on.
Although we can't really say that about
What,
the Red
you can't,
Sox
you
right
can't
now.
bust balls about a city? God, so sensitive.
Well, we're just talking about
nowadays.
the quality of the
So
people.
sensitive. I'm
Fair
not talking
enough.
about the
The quality
quality
of
of the
teams.
people. I was just talking about the city. I never said anything about the
No,
people.
Brian and I are. As far as the quality of the people that the sports fans.
Geez. It's like, oh, so sensitive
They suck.
nowadays. Goddamn PC people. Goddamn pussification of America. Wake up.
I always have a great
Take a
point, David.
joke.
Always.
Anyway.
Always my friend.
All right, so anyway, with that being said, still, though, fucking Zach Ronaldo. The fact that he's even on a team.
So are you confident in the
Blows my
Flyers,
mind.
Matty?
Yes.
Okay. Good.
I am more
Why-
confident in the Flyers than I am Anaheim this
Oh
year.
my God.
Why? Because
Right.
and here's the reason why. They've changed their philosophy. It's shown over the last few years that it can work. It takes a moment or two, but give it your fucking all, and it will work out. at the
And
end.
right now, I know there's a lot of pissed off Phillies fans out there,
Oh, yeah.
but I'm going to say this.
How are you?
I'm just going to say this. I was at first, but I'm not anymore. Bigger picture. It's not necessarily about right now. It's about bigger picture.
Does this have
The
something?
long run.
Did it have something to do with Manny Machado?
Yes, but we're not going to talk about
Oh,
that.
okay. I was wondering. Bro's just over here with this kind of.
Flyers are setting
Yeah.
themselves up for years of success, not just 1 year. Phillies are setting themselves up for years of success, not just 1 year.
The way Brodo
Unlike that team out in L.A. that
Bro-
I'm going to remain nameless.
Brodo's looking at me like he was just like ready to freaking slit my throat.
I was thinking
Just
the
like,
same thing.
Don't you mention that fucking name around me, you son of a bitch. Don't you dare.
I'm not available right now.
You know, Ducks are looking about winning right now. Flyers are bigger picture down the road.
Well, that's the thing, though.
Multiple years of success.
Again, all you have to do is look at Los Angeles. Now, the only difference is with L.A., they got a little trade happy there. But remember, Hextall was assistant GM. He wasn't GM. So that's the other thing that you got to remember about that, too. So they did get a little trade happy there after their Stanley Cups.
Hold that thought for
but-
1 second.
Yes.
David, send me your reasons why the Shen deal was awesome. Continue.
Oh,
Okay,
no.
this is going to be a very
Right.
intriguing breakdown of this Shen deal. All right.
The reason why I say that is I see a lot of Ducks fans being like, oh, this is a good move. This is a good move. I've seen him firsthand. Hi, I live in the Philadelphia area.
And you've seen him play for
I've
the Flyers.
seen him play for the Flyers, and,
And
he's
I-
god
and-
awful.
And I will vouch for this. He's a piece of shit.
Is there
Pl-
another
please.
Shen in the league that he's referring to?
Maybe Braden, but
But Braden's
Braden
in
is in Anaheim. He's in St. Louis.
David, they didn't sign Braden.
Braden.
He's not on that.
Braden
No,
from
Braden's
a-
not available to
From
you
a
right
Philly
now.
fan, they
his
traded him
brother.
to St. Louis. Just saying
Wrong
right
Shen.
now.
It's the
Wrong Shen.
Wrong Shen.
Right family, wrong brother.
Yeah, right church, wrong pew on that one. Ugh.
But yeah, I
That's-
mean, I you know, it's like I was just saying, Anaheim's looking to win now, and they're signing players to win now. But I don't really think they're actually signing the players to win now.
Well, that's
But
the-
that's what they're
here-
trying to do, because we have so many question marks in our lineup right now
ah,
that it's ridiculous.
I'm a little that
Corey
concerns
Perry
me.
could be traded. Ryan Kessler might be forced to retire because of an injury or an illness or something. I think it's an injury, something in his pelvis.
Ooh.
Our defense,
Here's the thing, though. The one thing that concerns me about Anaheim is that they're getting too trade happy. Then that's and you're getting a little too free agency. You're trying to wheel and deal right now. It's like,
I mean, I get Anaheim.
From an organization that wound up being the kings of wheeling and dealing with no salary cap to them being fucked when a salary cap came into place. I wouldn't do that too much. I would be kind of like,
I kind of understand where they are contract-wise. You got the Twins sitting at 8 years. What was it, $80 million contract, something along those lines. You have Rickard Rakell, who just signed a 6-year deal. You have Ryan Kessler, who you re-signed to, I believe it was a 7 or an 8-year deal, who might be forced to retire, so that's going to free up a lot of cap. Just re-sign Adam Henrique to a 5-year extension. You have Cam Fowler, who's starting an 8-year contract. Believe Lindholm's on a 6 or 7-year contract. You got a lot of long-term deals here
a lot of 7s
that are getting set up to, take the next step forward, especially with the younger guys. Guys like Getzlaf. You might be able to move him. I don't recommend it because who takes the city on next? Corey Perry, his contract is untouchable. Nobody's going to want to take his contract. He's a former 50-goal scorer. Hasn't been a 30-goal scorer in about 3 years. And he's getting paid somewhere between $8 and $10 million a year. Nobody wants that. Nobody's going to touch it. So, I mean, the faith in Bob Murray is there, but it's lowering every single year. Because he did kind of what Paul Holmgren did to the Flyers. Kind of hand-tied him in a couple situations.
Yeah.
I like the deals at the time. At the time, they made sense. Now they don't. Not so much. Especially the Corey Perry deal. Where his production went, I have no fucking clue.
Yeah.
He went from being a 50-goal scorer to a 10-goal scorer in 4 years? 5 years?
Yeah, true.
He's got about 3 or 4 more years on their contract. Nobody's going to want that.
No.
So
you're right. So, with that being said, Flyers goaltending situation, the reason why I brought this up is a simple one.
Dave, you'll see why when they start playing hockey, why Luke Schenn was a bad move.
The reason why I brought this up is because the Flyers did re-sign Anthony Stolarz to a 1-year deal. So this now begs the question of, okay, so what are we going to do? This is a great problem to have. So what is next? Because everything is a wild card right now for Carter Hart. If Carter can make the team, which he won't, but he will in a sense. He won't and he will, and I'll explain that. He will make the team as he can be an NHL player. However, we have to finish off our Brian Elliott deal and possibly, if he's doing good, trade him away in the trade deadline and bring Hart up if the Flyers are not competitive enough yet. Possibly. We'll see. If they're competitive, which they might very well be, Elliott's going to finish out his time in Philly, and he'll leave. No harm, no foul. He did what he could, but he was getting old, and he was a little too injury prone, and he could not make enough impact. And really, he was shaky at times, and he was shaky in the playoffs. However, he did try to make a valiant effort, though, there towards the end.
Here's what I like about the situation of Flyers and with their goaltenders right now. Competition.
Competition, yes.
What usually happens to players when competition happens? The game rises.
They either shrivel up or they rise to the occasion.
Now, you have Alex Lyon, who's hungry. Who's at 25 years old?
Yeah,
he's hungry. He's ready for the NHL.
And he just signed a deal.
Stolarz, probably around the same age.
He's got the craziest
same situation.
But he's got the craziest story of them all. Because when you think about it, Stoley, this guy had that spot ready to go for him. Guaranteed, if he hadn't gotten hurt.
Absolutely.
Guaranteed you he would have been in that spot. It would have been him that would have been called up and would have had the starting role for a period of time. Not Lyon, but then this young kid, Lyon, comes out of nowhere and snags it and says, fuck you, I want the spot instead.
Now, here's the interesting part about this whole situation. So you got the 5. You got Carter Hart, Michael Neuwirth, Alex Lyon, Anthony Stolarz, and Brian Elliott. Should you move both Elliott and Neuwirth if the Flyers aren't in playoff contention? You have Anthony Stolarz and Alex Line, 2 young goaltenders ready to go. Bring them up. Let Carter Hart start in the NHL. Don't bring him up here unless he's going to start 50, 60 games.
Yeah.
Let him play those 50, 60 games in the AHL. Let him develop. Don't rush him. Let him play. That's what Stolarz and Anthony Line are for. They're bridges. Get the other 2 out of here. Let those 2 rock. Let Carter Hart rock on the Phantoms. Call it a day. Call it a day. Get a couple late round picks for the 2 goalies. Get, I don't know, a cheesesteak or something from Michael Neuwirth. I mean, you're not going to get much more than a 6th or 7th round pick for Neuwirth. He has no value anymore.
Maybe we'll get a nice rummage sale, and we could pick out a piece of garbage from the past of another team and put them on our team for no fucking reason. Thanks, Nashville.
Trade him for a hockey puck. Put it in the collection or something. Like, start a collection or something. Yeah,
you know what? Get a commemorative jersey made of this person. Just like, yes, this person actually was on this team, but he wasn't. We just signed him to a 1-year deal, but we'd actually never put him on.
Fuck, dude. I would trade him for Mark Savard's contract.
Mark Savard's contract to get the jerseys to be sold off in the store.
Well, not even just to get the jerseys sold. Most people probably don't even know who he is at this point anymore. But, you take his contract, send Neuwirth the other way, be like, hey, we'd rather have the contract than have to worry about Michael Neuwirth.
Hey, by the way, you know what? That actually makes me wonder. Do you think the Vinny LeCavier thing was just a stunt to try and get jerseys sold?
What do you mean?
Like when they
bringing him here?
Yeah, bringing him
to
Philly.
Not at all. I thought I thought he played great in Laviolette's system. I thought he played really well.
Well, as in Lavi's system. Yeah.
After Laviolette left, LeCavier's game just
absolutely terrible. Like, that was bad.
Goes back to my point.
Yeah.
All players don't work in every system.
Well, no, and at the same time, too, it was also just he came in at the absolute worst time to become a Philadelphia Flyer.
The fact that they fucking fired Peter Laviolette 3 games into the season was complete and total bullshit.
But that was another knee-jerk reaction. That was the thing that the Flyers system was completely used to. They would always do knee-jerk reactions. Fire the coach, fire the coach, fire the coach.
0-3 in an 82-game season isn't bad.
They fired
at all.
They fired Ken Hitchcock in 2007 because they got off to a bad start. That team was fucked right from the beginning because Peter Forsberg wasn't available.
I'm pretty sure Anaheim went like 0-12 one year and still made the playoffs that same year.
But at the same time, that team was fucked right from the beginning. You want to know why? Our captain was never playing a single fucking game that year.
That captain was
Forsberg.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And Forsberg couldn't play at all. He had 1 year in Philadelphia where he actually legitimately played. And they still managed to lose to the Buffalo Sabres. Hence why I fucking hate them. Fucking suck forever, you pieces of shit. Anyway, moving on.
I still have my Forsberg jersey.
Was it a Flyers one?
Hmm?
See, that was a big deal when they got him.
It was a huge deal. It's Peter fucking Forsberg.
It was a big deal, but what did it benefit Philly at all? It didn't do shit for Philadelphia. Seriously, it didn't do shit for Philly.
No, it didn't.
Like, honestly, what did it do? Like, seriously.
At the time, he's the biggest free agent out there. And we're coming right off the strike. Why not make a huge splash like that and go out and get a guy like Peter Forsberg?
I know, and he was originally a Flyers prospect, and I know a lot of people would say, oh, we should have just kept – yeah, and I love it when the people bring up their Lindros hate, and they're just like, oh, we should have just kept Forsberg. Fuck Lindros. Lindros didn't do shit for us. Like, fuck you. What would have happened is that Peter Forsberg would have done exactly the same thing Lindros would have done. You would have put the same team around him, and we still would have fucking lost in 97 to the fucking Red Wings. What the fuck difference would Forsberg have made? Honest to God, yes, he still – what? His concussions? Like, he didn't – like, Lindros had concussions, but – Forsberg had ankle problems, for crying out loud. That's what stopped him from continuing play after that.
Especially towards the end of his career. But, I mean, you could have gone either way and would have –
it would have resulted in the same thing.
Hindsight's 20/20. You don't know what would have happened with Peter Forsberg.
Like, who knows? Maybe we don't even trade Mark Recchi and we just decide to build the team up. You know? Like, seriously.
Right, exactly. You don't know.
Like,
maybe you don't trade for Eric Desjardins and John LeClaire. What happens then?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Maybe we actually get some major players from the draft, and we put them around Forsberg, and who knows what would have happened to that
Hindsight,
team.
like I said, hindsight is 20/20. Shit has already happened. You can't change the past. You just got to keep looking forward.
But anyway, how did we end up talking about Peter Forsberg? Anyway, it's like, what the fuck?
It's a good question.
I don't know how the hell we got to Peter Forsberg, but anyway.
How the hell did we get anywhere we get to?
I don't know. I really don't fucking know. Anyway, would it be funny if Philip Forsberg ever was a Flyer? It's like, all right, that's 2 Forsbergs we got at the end of their career.
Yeah, good luck with that.
And it would be at the end of his career, too, by the way. We would
Washington
be getting
was
him
so
in his
dumb for
prime.
trading him.
Yes, they were. Oh, man.
I don't remember who they got in return for that.
Nothing. I don't think they got shit for him, honestly.
But anyway.
All right.
So back to the goaltenders.
But either way, though, so the goalie situation being what it is, it's going to be real interesting seeing down the line. Again, like we heard in the comments earlier, it is Carter Hart's spot to lose. He has to absolutely tear it up if he wants to be a starter. He won't be the starter in the NHL, period, because Ron's not going to put him in that spot to get crushed by his first team that he faces.
I mean, maybe you hold him up here a couple of weeks just to see how he does. But after that, send him down. Just let him develop.
I don't know. Even that, I wouldn't know about that. I still think he would be winding up in the Phantoms, no matter what.
I agree.
Hexy's not the type of guy to just throw him out there for the shits and giggles of it. Hey, when Anthony came up and they were facing Buffalo, which this was before Jack Eichel, so they were shit, and he was there for an entire week, didn't start him once. Now, yes, that was the coaching decision, but Hexy brought him up, and they still didn't do shit with him, and they sent him back down. Like, that should tell you everything you need to know, that Hexy's not planning on rushing this kid at all.
As he shouldn't. He's only 20 years old. There's no need for him to be in the NHL yet.
Yeah.
You got 2 guys that are ready to go, and Alex Line and Anthony Stolarz. Bridge them for a year.
Yeah.
You got 3 goaltenders. 3 goaltenders on 1-year
contracts. And we didn't even mention
contracts.
Felix Sandstrom on top of it. Like, seriously.
Yeah, and he's supposed to be better than Carter Hart.
Which is crazy when you think about that. Holy shit.
But again, think about it. 3 goaltenders on 1-year contracts this year. Let him develop.
And let the competition begin between the 3
Please,
of these guys.
I'm waiting.
And we will find out if Carter's ready, if he's fucking ready, if he develops in the AHL this year and he's just fucking killing it, and the Phantoms are on an amazing fucking tear, and the Flyers, they do what they do, even if the Phantoms are doing phenomenal and the Flyers are floundering, I say wait. Don't even bring him up then. Let him do what he does with the Phantoms. And
give him a full year down there.
Yeah, give him
That's
a
what I'm
full
saying.
year with the Phantoms. And then on top of that, too, if we're floundering because of goaltending, then
he's going to play just about every day down there. So where's the problem?
Yeah, so it's like, okay, look at all we got. We got Anthony. We could put Stoley up there if we want to. We could fucking put Lyon back in there because we know Lyon can fucking do his job. Hell, we can even throw the fucking paper glass bones and fucking paper skin Neuwirth and see him get fucking hurt just because for the novel feel of it.
And it's like I've been saying, Carter Hart is 20 years old.
Yes.
He needs to develop. If he comes up to this team and he's not the starter, it's going to hurt his development.
Yeah.
And as long as you have Brian Elliott there, well, we can platoon Brian Elliott and Carter Hart.
Nah.
Yeah, but it's not the same. He needs to play every day in order for that to happen, for his development to go right.
Platooning, it requires that you would need to play half of the games of the season and Elliott plays the other half. That's still way too much time to take away from a guy like Hart.
Right. He needs to play 50, 60 games.
Yeah. Because when you divide 82 by 2, divided by 2, it's not even close to that. So you don't want that.
Nah. You want him to play as much as he can.
Yeah. So with that being said, Flyers goaltending situation, at the end of the day, the Philadelphia fan base has spoken, and I am very pleased with their answers. They do understand that, yes, Hart is the future, but they're not willing to rush, and I like it. The mentality from what I've been hearing in the comments section, this is beautiful. The fans are here. The fans are saying what we need them to say, like, yes, don't rush him. Let him develop, and in the meantime, let's just see what the rest else we got. Let's find out.
Bigger picture. See how I get bigger every time? It's called a bigger picture.
Right, Brodo? Bigger picture?
Sure.
Just wanted to see if he was still alive.
This is the point where if I was at
I mean,
my
I'm
other job right
surprised
now,
after
I
the
would
Manny
be throwing
Machado.
salt.
Yeah, I know.
And be like, why are you salty, bro?
Not salty. Not salty. I'm just upset.
I'm surprised after the whole Kawhi thing and the Manny Machado that we don't have to file out a missing persons, all points bulletin out for Brodo on that one.
Put
'Cause,
him,
I mean,
put him
that's
on the
just
back of a milk carton.
that-
Do they
that-
still make milk cartons?
They
I
would
think
need to for me.
It's like A2D, radio, personality, Ryan Brodo of The Fix, and we will put the show underneath because that is
good
important.
marketing.
Yeah, very
Great
good
marketing. Great
It's
marketing.
I
just
might
like-
idea.
just do it for that purpose.
Yeah, has been reported missing due to the Manny
he's gonna
Machado.
go. He's gonna go to the grocery store when they be like, "Oh yeah, I forgot I did that."
By the way, if you wind up doing that, dude, that is our idea, and you're fucking welcome.
Yeah, I'll make sure when I do, because I'm definitely going to do that, right? And for people who can't see me, I'm holding. Thank you. When I definitely do that, I'll make sure I'm like, oh, by the way, credit to the Hockey Happy Hour.
Thank you. That's all we needed.
That's all I want. That's all I
Hey,
asked
you
for.
can have the trademark and everything. We just wanted to let you know that that's where it comes from.
I just want 10%.
So, yeah, that's all we want.
But to answer your question, I don't know how I've made it through this. I don't. LeBron, Kawhi, Paul George, Manny. I mean, this is where we're at.
Yeah,
this
this
is
is where
the
we're
this
at.
is life right
And
now.
the Flyers
you
turned
want
out to
you want
be-
me to one up you a little bit more?
Oh, is there another name I missed?
No. Apparently the Sixers are talking about trading for Kyle Korver.
Well,
eh?
but they would then trade Jared Bayless's contract, which is hideous. I would do that.
Oh, well,
That might bring me back.
that
That might bring me back.
that ruined my fun real quick.
Why? Why?
Why?
'Cause he thought
listen,
you overreacted?
when you're upset,
Oh, I thought you
it's
meant because Kyle
entertaining to me.
Korver. Yeah, Kyle Korver. I have bobblehead. I mean, listen,
Well, if you
we
wanna
can
see-
pretend we're back in 2002. It's fine.
Well,
I mean, don't-
back when the Sixers' main guy was Allen Iverson.
Back when Kyle Korver was a decent three-point shooter.
Oh God, that was very interesting.
I'd be
Hey,
okay with
and
that.
actually, that guy was a Sixer too. Oddly enough.
Chris Webber.
Yeah, for all of 5 minutes.
I had to make sure. I was making sure you weren't pointing at the Bernie.
No,
Bernie Perron jersey
not
there.
the Bernie.
Just making
No.
sure. I was like, he
No,
wasn't a
I
Sixer.
made sure that my finger was elevated because I know there's Iverson pointing right down here, so I had to make sure I got it right.
Just making sure.
Yes,
Clarifying. That's all.
that would have been. Wow.
That would have been embarrassing. Bernie? Yes. Wait. No.
Yeah, no, I'm dumb. I'm not that stupid. Like seriously, no.
I would
no.
be.
Dumb I am, stupid I am not. Anyway, moving on to the Flyers' history since Ron Hextall, and they decided to rank them. So let's find out what the ranks are.
this is
This is gonna
this will
be
be
fun.
interesting.
I feel like I should play a bed for this one. Just
Yeah,
to go
so
back in
here
time.
we go. We're gonna go through 1 through 15 on this motherfucker. So let's find out. And if
15 since Ron Hextall.
well, there's plenty more. I'll dive into the other ones for honorable mentions. But still, these are the top 15 since Ron Hextall hung up his skates.
Lots of finger
and the
quotes
Flyers
being thrown around today.
threw into the net. Just threw them right the fuck in there and see what would happen. Bed ready, Brodo?
Oh, it's playing. It's going.
All right,
Oh,
then.
we're going.
All right,
I
gentlemen.
like it.
Here we
In
go.
memoriam.
So at number 15, from 1992 to 1994, by the way, I was not yet born when this motherfucker joined the team. Tommy Soderstrom joined the team, and he played 78 games. His record was 26, 35, and 10.
Ouch.
Here's his goals against average, 3.66. Save percentage, 881.
A little above average.
And he split starts with another guy who will probably wind up seeing on this list a little bit later on. Number 14, from 2003 to 2004, Jeff Hackett.
I remember Jeff.
Was a backup.
Jeff was great until he came to Philly.
His
I wouldn't say great, but he was a pretty good goaltender in Chicago.
games he played, 27. He had a record of 10, 10, and 6, so he batted 500 with this team. And moved on with a goals against average of 239 and a save percentage of 905. I mean, that's not bad
Solid numbers.
for someone for 27
Solid numbers.
games. That's not too bad.
For 27 games, that's really good.
That's not bad, but you know what? He only played 27 games, so we don't know what would have happened down the stretch on that one. All right. Here's one that maybe more fans would be familiar with. 97 through 98, 2003 through 2004, Sean Burke.
Oh my God, I forgot about him.
I do remember Sean Burke, actually.
He was feisty. I liked him.
Yeah, that's why the Flyers had him. And this is what his records were. 26 games played, 13 wins, 8 losses, and 2 OTLs, not even ties. that he went through. Actually, no, 2 ties because it was during that time
Yeah,
period.
it was definitely that time period.
Goals against average was a 2.55 and a save percentage of 911. That's actually not bad either. Like, damn.
No, he was a solid goalie throughout his entire career.
Yeah. Damn, this is what we could have had. All right, number 12, who tragically just recently passed away. Damn, this bed's too fitting for this, too. Ray Emery, who was number 12 on this list. They have him from 2009 to 2010, but he did come back to Philadelphia. So,
yeah, that was a very unfortunate story about Ray Emery, who actually spent time most of his career in Ottawa. He's played in a bunch of places, Philadelphia. He played for Anaheim for like a couple months.
he did. He wound up winning a cup with Chicago as the backup to Corey Crawford.
Went swimming with his family and friends in Hamilton Bay, getting ready to play a charity game up there.
Never
Went down to go swimming and never came back up. Found his body 5 hours later. Such a shame. Such tragic. 35 years old.
Yeah. So
my condolences out to his family and his friends, his loved ones.
Rest in peace, Ray Emery. Rest in peace. We will always remember the way you beat the shit out of Braden Holtby. That was a beautiful day.
Was not a fan of his, but you know, it's a tragedy to the hockey world.
Hey, let me have that. That was a beautiful day. Flyers getting their asses kicked. That he fucking deserved it. Anyway, moving on. Number 11. This was the guy who he was splitting games with earlier on. Remember Soderstrom? This is who he was splitting games with from 91 to 1996. Dominic Roussel.
Wow, that's a name I haven't heard forever.
Games played 139. Record was 62, 49, and 14. But this is where the kicker is. His goals against average was a 3.18, and his save percentage was an 895. How the fuck did he scratch out 91 through 96 on this team? It's shocking. Oh, my God.
Clue.
Oh, my God. But to be fair.
For his save or for his goals against to be as low as it was, which was around about average then, and his save percentage to be under 9? Sorry.
Yeah, here's the weird part, though. To be fair, though, he was with the shitty version of the Flyers before they had Eric Lindros. It was 90.
Dominic Roussel card somewhere in my.
He was the goalie from 91 through 96, so he was there when Lindros got there, but he was traded by the time he was ready to go, by the time Lindros was ready. Number 10. There's one people will definitely remember from 1995 to 1998. None other than Garth Snow. Games played 90. Record 40, 25, 16, and 0. And here's the other kicker. His goals against average was 2.59 and his save percentage was 900.
Solid backup. Here's another one that was feisty. I wasn't afraid to get in the mix and throw some punches.
Keyword, solid backup on that one.
Terrible GM.
Yes, awful GM. Oh, my God. Whew. Thank God he's gone to New York. I think they're singing that praise every day.
Too long.
I think they were saying there is a God. Snow's no longer GM.
Too long.
And to number 9. Yeah, I remember him. 2003 to 2009, Mr. Antero Niittymaki. Boy, you talk about the great white hope that never fucking panned out. Whew.
I remember that one.
Yeah. We're getting there. We're getting there. Next up, his games played 163. Record was a 62-62. 0 and 22.
He was about average goalie.
Yeah, so that makes sense. But
went off to San Jose in his career, died.
Yeah. Here's the weird part. Here's the weird part of it, though. He went out there, and he actually played for San Jose as a starter for one point.
Yeah.
Like, how the fuck did that happen?
Evgeny Nabokov left to go play over in Europe.
That's a good point, yeah. I think he just said fuck it to San Jose. Goals against average, 3.01. Save percentage, 901. The fuck? That's one of the most inconsistent stats you could possibly see.
He's an inconsistent goalie.
Yeah, he was, all right. Whew, hard to believe he won a Calder Cup. Anyway. Number 8. Oh, this one hurts. Sergei Bobrovsky. However, though, he'd be ranked higher because this is a ladder stat, so we'll save him for later. Oh, number 7. Now, this one's the fun one. Michael Leighton. Oh, no.
Enough said there.
No. You could tell this is old because Michael Leighton is ranked higher. No, Bobrovsky, we're going to push him off of this. Number 8's fucking Michael Leighton.
To be fair, Michael Leighton did get him to a Stanley Cup final.
He did, but it was his good year. Ever since then, he was shit. He couldn't even make the team in Carolina. Tells you everything you need to know.
Bro, he was shit before he came to Philadelphia.
He was.
We'll just leave it at that.
Here's the weird part. He played for Philly before he played for them in 2010, too. That's the sad part of it. Like, what the fuck? How the fuck does this guy have 2 stints with Philly? Anyway, number 6, Robert Esch. Good old Robert Esch. 2002 to 2007.
Another one with some attitude.
Oh, man. You're sensing a theme here. They were looking for the next Ron Hextall and didn't fucking find him. Next, his games played was 128.
This is fitting.
Yeah. 128 record, 60, 39, 10, and 6. Goals against average, 2.65. Save percentage of a 900. Not bad at all on those stats. Really
not bad at all.
not.
No, he was good for the most part. He just wasn't great.
Pretty much always thought of as backup there on that one. Oh, well. Moved on. Ha. This one's always a kicker because I always forget that he's a Flyer, and it's funny. 1998 to 2000. Number 5, John Van Beesbrook. Beezer. Games played 112. Record 52, 33, and 24.
Not bad.
His goals against average a 2.19 and a save percentage of 904.
It's a shame the Flyers got him at the end of his career. His prime was obviously playing in Florida.
Yeah, and you want to know the reason why Van Beesbrook was not sticking around in Philadelphia?
This is probably the next guy on the list.
No, but he'll be on a little bit later. We'll talk about him in a minute. Number 4. I remember him all right. 2007 to 2009. I actually have his jersey, too. That's the funny part. Martin Perron. Games played, 139. His record, 65, 47, 0, and 16. Goals against average, 2.7. Save percentage of a 915.
I liked him. I always liked him. I liked him when he played for the Rangers. Liked him when he played for Buffalo.
He played for Montreal, too. Before
he was always a solid goalie. I liked him here.
See, he played in Washington, he played in Montreal, and then wound up in Philly after that. And it was like, damn. He was good. He was really solid for us.
He was very solid.
Yeah.
Very, very solid career for Marty Perron.
Yeah. Unfortunately, though, I think for whatever reason, the Flyers just whatever. Anyway, it was whatever. Next up, number 3. We knew he was coming up. 2003 to 2000 to 2003. We'll give you a guess. It's 2000 2003. You probably could figure it out.
Roman Czechmanek.
Yep, that's exactly who it is. At number 3, games played 163. Record 92, 43, 22, and 0. His goals against average was a 1.96, and his save percentage was a 923.
Man, he was a weird guy.
Yeah, pretty much.
He invented the head save.
Yes, he did.
He was the one that started that trend.
Oh, man. Whew. He almost won a Vezina trophy. That's the funny part of it.
Probably should have. He had a solid career in Philly, and just kind of dropped off after he left.
Here's the reason why Roman Czechmanek and Van Beesbrook both did not last in Philadelphia. From 1999 to 2002, back in 2009 to 2011, and continued on for one more stint, Mr. Brian Boucher. Boucher. At this point, wow. I mean, hard to believe he did 3 stints with the Flyers. And the sad part of it is, we should have fucking kept him when he was young, and we fucking didn't. I'd still, like, that name baffles me that we still, you know what? Half our problems wouldn't be here if we kept Boucher. Honest to God, we wouldn't have. We wouldn't be sitting here going through this. We would
Possible.
Boucher probably would have tagged off probably around 2008 to Perron, most likely. But we would have been stable throughout the early 2000s.
I don't disagree. Brian Boucher was a very good goalie.
He was. He actually he set a record too in the NHL, but he did it with the fucking Coyotes. Wow, with the fucking Coyotes. It's not like that team's not going to be relevant. Christ. Anyway. Oh, my God. Anyway, moving on. So, with that being said, why don't we take a quick break, and we will finish off the rest of the honorable mentions that will be brought up later on when we come back from break. But this portion of the Hockey Happy Hour was brought to you by Sports Outlet. For all your sporting needs, located at 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-939-2030. Email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com. This is the Hockey Happy Hour on a2dradio.com, and we will see you on YouTube right after the break. And if you are on Facebook, feel free to join us. The link will be in the comments section. If you are saying bye, we will see you next week. Either way, we'll be right back after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Hockey Happy Hour, live from the BMW Lansing Studios here in Mountie from New Jersey. I'm Matt Tsutsudi. This is Brian the Darkwing Daily. We got Ryan Brodo behind the boards. And this portion of Hockey Happy Hour is brought to you by Gibson Mayer LLC, your certified public accountant, located at 301 Oxford Valley Road in Yardley, PA. You give them a call, 215-369-3300. Tax season was here, but it's the gift that keeps on giving. Before you know it, it'll be right back to haunt you again, and at the worst possible time. You just think you got that great vacation planned out. You got, oh man, this is going to be awesome. Got the lady up in the bedroom. It's going to be great. And then just like the gift that keeps on giving, bam, comes back and it ruins your fucking night.
Like herpes.
Yep. Taxes are exactly like that. Maybe minus the bedroom part. But still, either way though, be ready, be prepared, and call Gibson Mayer.
Maybe that was a little too inappropriate. Maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Gives a fuck.
I thought it was funny.
Seriously, who cares? This is real talk.
I just said it because I thought it was funny.
No, you're just telling kids to steer away from herpes.
Exactly.
Yes, that's what we do here. It's bad, kids.
Public
It's
service
bad.
announcement.
Yes, it's bad. And if you keep doing that, you'll go blind. Anyway. So. All right. Diving into a little walk down memory lane. We were diving into the Flyers' history in goaltending since Ronnie Hextall decided that it was time to hang up the skates and walk away from playing in the rink. And ever since then, it's been one Band-Aid over the cancer after another. Just been terrible.
Band-Aids, they never help.
No, they don't. They really fucking don't. Ugh. Anyway.
But it seems like they have a solution to the problem now.
Yes.
Time will tell.
Yeah, I think they do. I think things will be fine. I think it'll take a minute for them to sink in and everything. I think everything will be okay.
Yep, I think so too.
So, with that being said, let's dive into the NHL free agency because actually ran out of goalies. Believe it or not, there was an end to that. And Ilya Bryzgalov is an honorable mention, by the way.
I think he's the only one.
He's the only one that I missed. Because who else was there? There was nobody else.
Who was the goaltender last year? Brian Elliott and Michael Neuwirth. That was Michael Neuwirth.
Well, we can add Michael Neuwirth since he's probably not coming back. But we can't add Brian Elliott yet because he's not officially,
Oh, man. I'm trying to think of who was the goaltender 2 years ago.
Yeah, I feel like I'm missing one.
2 years ago?
Yeah. Before Brian Elliott.
It was.
Who the hell was it?
Was it Mason?
Steve Mason.
Steve Mason, yeah.
I forgot all about Mace. How did I forget about Mace? Christ.
I think he got traded to Montreal.
No, he went to Winnipeg.
No, they traded him. They traded him a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
I think he got traded to Montreal.
Oh, my God, they traded him to Montreal? Oh,
I think
wow.
so. I think that's where he went.
Oh, wow. Poor guy.
Look that up real quick.
Poor Mace.
I got a second.
Actually, I'm very interested to see what his mask is going to look like because I know he does all the horror-themed masks. Is he going to have like a...
His masks are usually pretty cool.
They're pretty freaking awesome. Is he gonna...
That's something we should do next week. Rank down the top 10 most badass goalie masks.
Yeah, there were some cool ones out there. Those were awesome. So, let's see here. Let's go through the free agency tracker and see what has been going on in the NHL recently. And
I don't think there's been much. I haven't heard much.
Well, Artemi Panarin.
Yeah, it was the Canadians. Canadians picked up Mason.
He's saying that he will not negotiate a contract extension with the Columbus Blue Jackets once training camp starts. His agent told on Thursday.
I love that, and I think that's a very professional thing to do. Don't worry about what's going on off the ice. Just worry about what's going on the ice. Make your game better. Because all you're going to do is you're going to market yourself better.
Yeah.
That's all you're going to do. If you sit there and you focus on your game and you're just like, all right, well, look at what I did over the past couple of years. In my contract year, look what I did.
True. And he even says, like, Artemi...
No distractions.
And his agent even says Artemi loves hockey. He hates the business side of hockey. When the season starts, the focus can only be on playing. He's going to play his best and give the best to the hockey club.
I love it. I love every second of that, and that makes me want him in Anaheim even more. than I already do, and that's already pretty high.
So September 13th deadline has been set.
No, but like for real though, like I said, that's awesome. It shows how professional the kid is, and he's young. Shows you how professional he is. He's only worried about playing his game. He's not worried about a paycheck. He's gonna get the paycheck regardless.
This is true. Yeah, I mean,
It's gonna take the distraction out of his game, which is great. I love it. Love it.
absolutely. So, with that being said, let's take a look here at other different happenings. Kevin Lowry agreed to a 3-year contract with the Winnipeg Jets. He'll be getting $2.9 million per season and avoids arbitration.
Good. I'm not sure I know who that kid is yet.
Lowry?
Yeah.
Well, he's one of the younger players that the Jets have, but he's going to be a major player for them moving forward. So definitely looking to see what's going to happen on that one. So let's take a look at what trades have been going on recently.
Some interesting trades, I'll tell you that much.
Absolutely. So let's see. Let's go past the draft here because the draft, it's kind of crazy with the picks. Oh,
Well, it was all picks. You only had, during the draft, it was the Brooks Orr pick trade to Colorado. That was
yeah.
it.
So let's see here. Go from the start. Got to go back to June here. So June 8th, that was all picks there. And, Tampa Bay acquired forward Andy Andrea from Los Angeles Kings for goaltender Peter Budaj. So Budaj's still in the league. Hey, congratulations, Budaj. You're still relevant. There you go. What do you know? Arizona acquired Alex Galchenyuk from Montreal for forward Max Domi, which we did mention. That's a huge deal for Arizona. And actually, that's good for that's really great for Montreal to get Max Domi onto their team.
That move completely just blew my mind.
I'm surprised.
And then he wound up and signed an extension with Montreal too. So they're gonna have Max Domi for a few years.
Well, the funny part of it is too is that, like, they really traded him away. Arizona just gave him away, really. I mean, yeah, Alex Galchenyuk is a good player, but I was just like, damn, you really just threw him away. Damn.
I don't think they threw him away. I thought that was a pretty good deal. It's a good hockey trade. It's a good hockey trade because you're gonna get Arizona's getting a guy that can score. Montreal's getting a guy that can score. They're both they can produce offensively in more ways than one. So I think it's a very good hockey move. I think both teams made out on that deal.
That is true. I will give you on that one. And, of course, moving forward, we go past the Colorado trade that we do not care about because we already know it. And then the Calgary Flames acquiring forward Elias Lindholm and defenseman Noah Hannafin from Carolina.
Yep. Elisha signed a 6-year contract extension to avoid arbitration.
And then the Hurricanes forward Michael Furland and defenseman Dougie Hamilton and defenseman Adam Fox are all going to the Hurricanes in exchange for that. And that's actually really good for Carolina because that boasts up their defense with Dougie Hamilton. Michael Furland, he's a forward that's Montreal.
Agreed.
Moving on, that was a draft pick trade that they made with Philly. And let's see here. Oh, wow, Michael Chaput. He used to be a prospect for the Flyers way back in the day.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. I feel like.
It was.
Probably wasn't a long time ago, but it just feels like it was.
It definitely is. And then the Buffalo Sabres acquired forward Connor Sheary and defenseman Matt Holmlick from Pittsburgh for a conditional 4th-round pick in the 2019 NHL draft.
That trade kind of baffled me a little bit because I thought the Penguins thought highly of Connor Sheary, that he was going to be in the plans long term. Clearly.
Nope. Not at all.
Two completely different thought processes there.
Absolutely.
Send him off to Buffalo.
All right, moving forward.
Good luck to Connor.
Yeah.
He's going to need it.
And speaking of Steve Mason, Montreal acquiring Steve Mason and forward Joel Armia in a 7th-round pick in the 2019 NHL draft for a 4th-round pick in the 2020 NHL draft from the Winnipeg Jets and for defenseman Simon Bourque. So really nothing got traded in that besides Steve Mason.
A couple minor league players, yeah.
That
was I've been hearing recently over the last 5 minutes that it was a contract move to try and dump his salary.
Gotcha. And Anaheim, of course, acquired forward Chase DeLeo from Winnipeg for forward Nicholas Cordiles.
Cordelis.
Or Cordelis.
Yeah. That was another hockey trade.
I gotcha. All right.
Chase DeLeo signed a 1-year contract, so we're good.
Here's an interesting one. St. Louis Blues acquired forward Ryan O'Reilly from Buffalo Sabres for forward Patrick Berglund and forward Vladimir Sabatka and forward Tage Thompson and a second-round pick in the 2021 NHL Draft and a first-round pick in the 2019 and 2020 NHL Draft.
Gave up a lot for Ryan O'Reilly.
They gave a shit ton up to Buffalo for that.
It'd be weird seeing Patrick Berglund in another uniform.
Yeah, and Sabatka, too, because Sabaka's been on St. Louis for fucking ever, too.
Yeah, but he spent time over playing in Russia, so.
He did, but still, it's just like
I ain't worried about him.
Whatever. New York Islanders acquiring forward Matt Martin from the Toronto Maple Leafs for goalie Eamon McGabb, so obviously their backup.
He's back on the aisle.
Oh, and this was on my birthday, actually. Arizona Coyotes acquired forward Vinny Hinostroza. That's a cool name. And defenseman Jordan Osterley, contract forward for Marian Hossa. This was the Marian Hossa deal.
Yep.
And a third-round pick in the 2019 NHL Draft from the Chicago Blackhawks for forward Marcus Kruger, forward Jordan Maletta, forward Mackenzie Entwistle. I like that name. And defenseman Andrew Campbell, and a fifth-round pick in the 2019 NHL Draft. Wow.
I feel like Kruger can't find a home. He's been traded from Chicago to Carolina, back to Chicago. Now he just got traded. Well, he went from Chicago to Carolina. He's going to Arizona?
No, the Arizona Coyotes did.
Back
It's
to
reversed.
Arizona,
He's
and
going,
he's
to
going back to
He's
Chicago.
going back to
Okay.
Chicago because he was in Arizona.
Okay. A lot of traveling.
Yeah, a lot of traveling for this guy. Don't know if he'll ever find a team. All
It's
right.
a shame. He's a good role player.
Yep, and the most recent one is the July 18th. Columbus Blue Jackets acquire forward Ryan McInnes from the Arizona Coyotes for defenseman Jacob Graves and a conditional sixth-round pick in the 2019 NHL Draft. So nothing too major right now.
Now, Ryan McInnes is the son of former NHL defenseman Al McInnes.
Al McInnes.
Little fun fact.
Yeah, there we go.
Little fun fact.
It's almost like there's a lot of people who, were sons and stuff.
You know
like
what's
that.
funny? Like, I was thinking this the other day. I'm seeing a lot of second-generation hockey players
Yeah.
from when I was growing up. Keith Kachuk, both of his kids are in the NHL. Al McInnes' kids are in the NHL.
Domi.
Ty Domi's kids in the NHL. Warren Reichel's kids in the NHL.
Really? I didn't know that. Holy shit.
Makes me. I feel so old now watching. Like, oh, I watched his dad. I watched his dad. I loved his dad. Watched his dad.
Meanwhile, bros over here is like, oh, I watched his son. I watched his son. I watched his son.
Probably not wrong.
I just feel old now. That's all. I'm not ready for this.
Age is just a
Not
number.
ready for this.
Age is just a number, my friend.
It is, but now I'm watching second generation stars. It's just I'm not ready for this.
You're not ready. You can't handle. You can't handle. No,
I
no.
don't think I can.
Age was just a fucking myth. It wasn't supposed to be real. God damn it. You mean to tell me that? You mean to tell me that chick I slept with last week? You mean to tell me she was wrong?
Go back to the bedroom again.
I think Manny needs to spend some time in the bedroom.
That's like 2 times in 5 minutes.
What do you mean? It's like every other second on the show.
That's a good
It's
point.
too much fun to do. It's easy to do. Come on.
I'm just not ready to be
You
old.
gotta
That's
go
all.
to the extreme. Come on, have fun.
Come on, look at the generation of hockey that I got to watch.
You did. You got.
Now
to,
I'm seeing some of their kids come out. I'm not ready for this.
Well, to be honest with you, that generation of hockey though, that's something that's gonna be a privilege because that's a lost form of hockey nowadays.
Agreed.
It's never coming back either.
It's a great time. It was a ridiculous time for the NHL.
You know what all those forwards had in common? That's the funny part of it. They all could probably beat the fuck out of you, too. That's the funny part of it.
There's
We
not
know
many
Ty
people-
Domi could for a fact.
Listen, there's not many people that can't beat the shit out of me. So
Okay.
I'm just gonna put that out there.
All right.
Let's put it out there.
All right. That's not a good thing
I'm
to
not
put
a fighter.
out on the.
I'm a lover.
You should not be
How you
putting
doing?
that out on the air.
I'm a lover, not a fighter. How you doing?
All right. What do you think, Enzo Amore or Joey Tribbiani? That's a real question we got to ask on that one.
Neither.
I'm thinking Enzo.
I am myself.
I'm going on the Enzo one.
I am myself.
Frodo has no comment for that one. He's just like, no, I'm not. I have to listen to these two assholes. No.
Wonder why I like having Bredo on the show so much.
He's trying to just like ignore us, but I won't let him.
Everybody else will bust my shit, and he just sits over there. He's just like,
I am not part of this. I am going to stick to my millennial ways.
I'm not even a millennial. Don't you do that to me. I'm 1 year old for that. Don't you do that to me.
Apparently, I'm a millennial, so that makes you a millennial.
How the hell
I'm
are
not a
you?
millennial.
Whoa, hold on. Hold the fucking phone. How are you a millennial?
I don't know. I don't know where the cutoff is, but apparently I'm a millennial.
Clearly the cutoff date is fucking wrong because
Maddie,
that doesn't fucking count.
You know you are, right? You're in that.
Technically, yes.
So here we go. He's bringing up millennials, and he's a millennial. Now I talk. Now.
All right. Where's that fiery music?
Here's the thing. I got the tail end of the Generation X into the millennials, so whatever. Anyway. I'm a tweener. That's what I am. To bring out the wrestling terms, I'm a tweener.
We're tweeners.
Yeah.
I'm not touching that one.
Which is actually a wrestling term. Look it up. Anyway.
I'm sure it is.
All right. So David Roska saying, hey, when are we going to get Montreal Max guy? So he wants Max Domi on the Ducks.
No, Max Pacioretty. I talked him into it.
Max Pacioretty. Oh, okay. Never mind. Okay.
As soon as humanly possible, David.
Why don't you just get Max Domi? Anyway. I mean, I just say,
I'd
might
take
as
him.
well. Splitting hairs, though.
I'll take either one.
Anyway. All right,
Really
so
is.
it's time for last call. We thank you for joining us here on A2DRadio.com. We will be back next Thursday, as always. And the Penguin-loving Mikey Klankoff will be back. Pretty sure he helped a penguin fly again. So we will ask him all about it next week. So tune in. This is time for last call here on the Hockey Happy Hour, brought to you by Skizana Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.skizanasports.com. I'm Matt Tsutsuti. This is the band marching leader himself, the Dark Wing, Brian Daly, and the man behind the board, Mr. Ryan Brodo. We will see you all next week right here on A2DRadio.com. Peace, everyone.